How's it going, everybody? My name is Effylmimer, and today I present you with Marvel Heroes. Marvel Heroes is an online action MMO type game developed by Gazillion Entertainment. Now, when I first looked at the Steam page, it said MMO under the genre, and I assumed that it was going to be a sort of MMO RPG. Well, I was wrong in some sense. It is an RPG, but it is more in the style of Diablo. As you can see, my character, this little furry guy right here, and we'll talk about this later. This is weird, but you can see he's following my mouse. I'm holding down the mouse button, and basically you click with the left mouse button and the right mouse button to do my little pistol whip right here, and it is exactly like Diablo or Torchlight or something like that. And I was actually pleasantly surprised when I found this, because there are a lot of MMORPGs out there, and there are, quite frankly, not enough of these types of games. There are some coming out, like Path to Exile is a really good example of a good free-to-play Diablo-style game, just like this. Oh my god, Iron Man, cut that out, please. Please, cut it out. Okay, so let's first take a look at the options menu, because this is a kind of a negative part. This is all you get for your video options. You get a graphics slider, which I assume goes from low to ultra. I have it on what I would say very high, not ultra quite. Have VSync off. These are the only options you have. You have all your resolutions here. I don't see any resolutions missing, but it's unfortunate that you can't tweak with these little settings that it says in the graphics slider. You also have audio, which are basic audio, music volume, sound effects volume, voiceover volume. It's always nice to be able to change your voiceover volume over the rest of the volume in the game. Rebindable keys, it's very good. Floating damage numbers, let's actually turn that on, I suppose, and we'll get into the game. Now, as you can see, I'm this furry raccoon type guy. If you don't know who he is, that's fine, because I definitely didn't know who he is. Apparently this guy is Rocket Raccoon. He's a Marvel hero, I assume. I didn't know. I don't know anybody who does know that this guy exists. Oh, let me just punch these guys. And that's one really cool thing about this game. Now, when I also first got it, I assumed it was going to be something like DC Online Universe, that game where you make your own hero, and you're fighting in the same universe, the same world as the Marvel heroes. But no, you actually play as the Marvel heroes. Get off me, bro. You actually play as Marvel heroes. So this furry little raccoon guy, I guess somewhere in the universe, existed as a Marvel hero. Apparently he's some type of space raccoon. And you get to pick from a lot of the hallmarks of Marvel heroes, like Wolverine, like Spider-Man, like Iron Man, as you saw there. And the cool thing is you can switch out for a couple heroes that you buy, and the heroes are indeed something that you buy. Since this is a free-to-play game, you can switch out at will. You don't have to just stick with one guy for your whole game. So I have 3 heroes unlocked currently. I have Iron Man, as you see right here. I have Hawkeye, and I have Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon is who I've been playing the most. As you can see, his level's 5. The other 2 are level 2. I started out with Iron Man. You can start out with, I believe, 5 or 6 heroes like the Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, and others like that. Black Panther, I think. I picked Iron Man because I just saw Iron Man 3 like 3 days ago. But Iron Man, I didn't care for him very much. Iron Man is very much a caster. If we're gonna use archetypes of this genre, Iron Man is all about those ranged attacks, just like this guy. He has a blaster pistol. I see Iron Man as more of a fighter. You know, it probably hurts more to get punched in the face. I don't know how energy blast feels though, so I can't say that with definite accuracy. And you can see the Hulk right here, just trolling around with this blue aura hitting people. And that brings me to the one big weird issue with this game, and that's that it's a free open world RPG hack and slash beat 'em up game. So these are other players right here, and since everybody is playing as a Marvel hero, it gets to be really weird when you see 3 different Hulks running around, or 3 different Iron Mans running around. Even if they have different costumes, you know, it's still 3 different Iron Mans running around beating up people, or 3 different Hawkeyes, and it just breaks your immersion. Really really hard. It breaks the immersion. And I was rolling around like this. Iron Man, you're obnoxious, man. I was rolling around like this, and some guys came to help me, and they were all Spider-Man. They were all using Spider-Man, and I was just like, this is weird. I don't know how I feel about this. I think this game definitely would have benefited from either having you make your own hero and being able to interact with the Marvel heroes as NPCs or even helpers, kind of like Borderlands 2 did, where you interact with the heroes, the Vault Hunters from Borderlands 1, but you don't actually play them. Or it could have definitely benefited from being a single player game. However, that would have ruined the whole, you know, free-to-play, you have to buy heroes and buy skins and experience and stuff like that. Currently, this is in closed beta, I believe. So, in the closed beta, you're given, I don't know if this will be translated into the full retail release or full free-to-play release, but you're given 2,000 credits to buy, I guess, a couple heroes. So if you look at your store here, we open the store with X, we go to our heroes, you can see they have a nice little starting pool of heroes. I assume they will be adding more into the game as the game progresses, but you have some cool, you know, Hallmark heroes, like I said, and then you have some cool, not so known ones such as Rocket Raccoon and Punisher, who I know he's a Marvel hero, but he doesn't really seem to fit in the whole aesthetic. But I guess, you know, whoa, where did these guys come from? Just spawned out of nowhere. But yeah, there are some there's nice variation on the heroes. I really like it. They give you enough credits to buy approximately 2 heroes, which I did. I bought Rocket Raccoon and Hawkeye, like I said. So it's pretty nice. It brings me to the other problem, though. I picked the heroes that I thought were cool, and obviously that's what everyone is going to do. We just got a blue. Let's kill this guy and then equip that. Hey, I leveled up too. What does this do? +2 defense, 24 health, and grants quick shot. Cool. I'll equip that. It brings me to the problem in that the combat, especially with the range classes, I haven't played any of the melee classes because obviously I don't have enough currency to buy another class, and all 3 that I picked were, that guy has an alternate skin for Captain America. That's pretty cool. But the range combat just feels really floaty, if I were to use a descriptor for it. You don't really feel like you're doing damage to the enemies. I mean, the enemies react kind of nicely, but it doesn't, it feels really floaty. I don't feel the impact with these laser pistols that I have. Same with Hawkeye when I was shooting my bow and arrow. You know, you don't feel it, and that you don't feel the impact, and that could have something to do with the fact that it's a Marvel hero game. You're not killing people. You're mostly knocking them down. If we stick around these guys long enough, you'll see them writhing in pain. So they're clearly still alive, even though, you know, I'm shooting them with a laser pistol from outer space. It shouldn't be alive. But I think because of that, because you don't see blood spurt out from the enemy, you don't see the arrows get stuck in them if you're playing Hawkeye, you don't see burn marks or anything if you're shooting them with a laser from Iron Man, the combat just seems really floaty, and especially in the beginning of the game, it's just downright not fun, really. But that, look at, did you see what the Hulk just did? He jumped in the air and came back down and smashed the ground, and the guy went flying. That seems pretty cool, but apparently I just made the wrong choice 3 times by choosing ranged heroes. In my defense, I didn't think Iron Man was going to be an all-ranged hero, but apparently he is. So, if you see these little blue auras that are appearing around my guy, that's actually one of my passive skills that allows me to dodge. Gives me a passive chance to dodge enemy attacks. Now, what else is there to say about this game? The aesthetics are really cool. I like it. It gives me a very Marvel Ultimate Alliance vibe. Now, I really liked the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, even though apparently they weren't that well received critically, but the aesthetics gives me that vibe that there's a Deadpool over there. That's pretty cool. That they're kind of action figures put into a virtual setting, put into a I also have that flippy move there, and that's pretty cool. But it gives the, it's not realistic. They're not going for realism. I mean, if you look at an Iron Man, actually there's Iron Man right here. If you look at him, he looks pretty like made out of, I don't know. He looks like a toy. And there's 2 Iron Men. You see what I mean? It's just kind of weird to have 2 Iron Men trolling around here. Even though, of all the heroes, that's the most plausible event that could happen, that there's more than 1 Iron Man. Obviously, if you've seen the movie Iron Man 3, you know there's a crap ton of those things. But, you know, there's only 1 Hulk. There's only, well, I guess there's not. There's She-Hulk. I'm gonna make a confession. I'm not a superhero nerd. I have a soft spot for superhero games, like the Ultimate Alliance games and Injustice and stuff like that. But I've never read a comic in my life, so I don't know too much about superheroes. So if I'm making myself sound like an ass, I apologize. I didn't even know who this Rocket Raccoon guy was, like I said. But the aesthetics are really cool. I dig it. The bosses, and I think this is the real strength of it, because they're pulling from the pool of all Marvel bosses or enemies, at least the more well-known ones. Like, this is essentially the 2nd or 3rd level that I have been through. I've actually been stuck on this level because you have, it's just like Diablo, where every time you load into the game and every time you load into the area, it's not exactly the same. So I have to find this entrance, as you can see, to the nightclub district over here in my little quest log, and I have not been able to find it for the life of me. This is a pretty big area, don't get me wrong. If we pull up our big map, or map mode, you can see this has quite a surface area. So I have not been able to find the nightclub. It's a cool little gym in here. I don't know what the purpose of it is, but that's kind of cool that we can go in there, I suppose. So yes, aesthetics, cool. Gameplay, it's floaty, but sometimes it can be really interactive, especially when there's more than 1 hero, because then you get just giant explosions, stuff is breaking, especially Thor. He's just like that big earthquake thing. I probably should have picked Thor, but he's not one of my favorite heroes. I had to pick this guy because he's just silly. Like, seriously? In my time that I've spent playing Marvel heroes, and I've spent most of it with Rocket Raccoon, I kind of lost the sight that I'm playing a Marvel game because I can't take this guy seriously as a Marvel character. He reminds me more of a Looney Tunes character, especially with his little one-liners. Sounds like something ripped straight out of Bugs Bunny's dialogue. But I guess at some point he was a Marvel hero. Yeah, the bosses are really cool. I fought Green Goblin in the introductory. He's the first boss that you fight. Or, actually, no, Living Lightning, Living something. Whatever. That guy, he's the first boss. I'm sure someone knows who I'm talking about. He's the first boss. Then you fight Green Goblin. That's not the way that we have to go. That's just a little, like, mini fight, like a mini boss. We might as well go up there. I think they respawn. I've already killed these guys. But if they respawn, there's going to be a little chest, and it can possibly give me some fat loot. Yeah, they all respawned. Okay, let's just beat these guys up. Oh, I also have a turret. Forgot to mention. Oh, God, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in here. But is there another guy up here with me? No, it's just my turret. Okay. So you can see the graphics, they're not the best, but they definitely look cool at times. The fire looks pretty cool. No, we're out of spirit. I think that's a really dumb name for it, spirit. I would have just called it energy, but I suppose not every hero uses energy. Like the Hulk, I suppose, doesn't. Well, everybody uses energy. That's what life runs on. These hand spies, they're just derping. AI is. I would call it brain dead, but that would imply that it had to have a brain in the first place, and these guys are just dumb. They're just dumb. I don't have any spirit left, so that's not gonna work. Turret's doing some good work. I'm just getting beat on. They're all gonna surround me and try to hit me, but that guy's gonna just keep running. And this is essentially what Marvel Heroes is. Now, it's not that different from... I suppose I can get out of here like that. It's not that different from any other game of this type. But I feel like it falls in under the same problem that I had with Path of Exile, that the combat just doesn't feel meaty enough. When I think of a good game like this, I think of Torchlight and Torchlight 2, and those games did the combat really well. When you kill multiple enemies, or sometimes when you just cast a spell, enemies blow up into chunks of blood and gore, and you feel like you actually decimated that enemy. These guys, I mean, I can't lie and say that them exploding into loot isn't satisfying, but the enemies that don't drop loot, it's just kind of like, okay, I suppose I killed them. The way that I can explain it best is that it feels like you're shooting their health bar at the top of the screen rather than shooting the enemy. And that's never a good thing when you're focusing more on a health bar, focusing more on taking down the not the enemy. You should feel like you're actually attacking the enemy, and I don't really get that here. But Marvel Heroes is still a pretty cool game. You can't, if you're a superhero fan or even just have a soft spot for superheroes like I do. Ooh, I just got a hammer for Thor. Also, the loot, as you can see, it's all specified for heroes, for certain heroes. So that hammer is obviously for Thor. Nobody else can use it. This is a laser rifle, so let's try that, I guess. Wait, what is that for? I can have 2 guns? Aw, snap. Well, I guess I do have 2 guns, but it's not that big of a deal that the loot is specified towards one hero, because you can have multiple heroes if you wanted to buy them. You know, I suppose you could have every hero in the game. Before I close this video, let's look at the free-to-play model of the game. Let's look at how expensive these guys are. Actually, we don't know because it's in beta and you can't add gold or G points, whatever. You can't add these because I guess it's a good beta test and it doesn't make you buy stuff. Yeah, it doesn't let you buy stuff before the game is actually out. That's a problem I had with the high-res games like Smite, for example, where the game's not even finished, but you can still spend inordinate amounts of money on skins. Oh, whoa, pop in. That's something that really needs to be changed. I don't know how they're gonna change it in a MMO sense, since these guys have to respawn at some point, but that's just really weird. Rocket Raccoon modern costume. Okay, so I guess right now, since it is a beta test, you test 3 heroes. That's about all you can get with the money that you're given. Let's switch out to Hawkeye really quick, and I'll give you a sense of how Hawkeye plays. He might be a little bit underpowered for this level. I don't know. Nope, he seems to be fine. And Hawkeye's arrows, they feel a little bit better than Rocket Raccoon's blaster pistol. I just think maybe I chose the wrong heroes, the not so good ones. I'm thinking if I went with like Wolverine or even Storm, as you saw there, I would have been a little bit better. This is pretty cool, this dilapidated church. There's nothing in here. At least, I don't think there's anything in here. That'd be cool if there's kind of a secret. I could be a janitor for a day. Maybe that's... Oh? That might be something they want to add in here. If they have all these buildings that are just empty, they might want to add some secrets or maybe some puzzles into them. So yeah, all I have as Hawkeye are these arrows, and then I have a stun arrow, taser arrow, that does exactly what you would assume. It stuns people. It's pretty cool, I suppose. The biggest problem with the skills, I guess, is not the fact that they don't feel all that great, because I'm sure some of the later skills, look at that, Wolverine just seems cooler than me shooting a bunch of arrows. But the problem is, and I didn't show this, is that there's just not that many. I mean, at level 1 or so, you can choose from, you get quick arrow normally, that's my basic power shot, so you have to level your basic shot. Then you have precise aim, which is a passive, which gives me a crit chance. You have forceful kick, which is bound to my A, which basically just knocks people away like that. Doesn't look very forceful, to be honest. And then you got a taser arrow. And then the next level, or the next ability that I can get, this is at level 4. This is at level 8, elusive arrow. And then this is at level 10. This is at level 6, and that's a passive. So I can get another freeze arrow, which is essentially the same thing as the taser arrow. They both are a, disable for enemies. There just doesn't seem to be enough powers, and I don't know if that's a beta thing, or if that's just how much they want in the game. But I definitely feel a lack of powers and abilities. I'm gonna forceful kick that guy away. So the game could definitely use more powers in the game, so you don't feel like you're just spamming one thing, and you have situational abilities. Like the taser arrow is pretty much situational. It doesn't do nearly as much damage as my normal arrows do, and I can't fire it as much. So I am essentially stuck with just shooting my arrow, doing the taser arrow whenever I feel necessary that they're getting too close, and when they get too close, I kick them back. And once again, I still can't find this entrance to the nightclub district, and that's kind of frustrating. I've been on this level for the majority of my time with this game, maybe like 30-45 minutes, and I've only played this game for about an hour and 15 minutes. And as you can see, we got a lot of heroes in this area. We got a couple Iron Men, got a Storm, a couple Hulks, Thor over here, and a Deadpool right there, and then me in my purple outfit. Oh well. But yeah, if you want to check this game out, I assume it's going to be going into open beta pretty soon. It's a cool little game that, if you want a Diablo style game and you don't already have Torchlight, or you're like me and you're a little bit just burnt out on Torchlight, and you don't want to buy Diablo 3, and you didn't care for Path of Exile, because I would definitely say Path of Exile is a better game than Marvel Heroes. But Marvel Heroes has potential. That's the biggest thing to keep in mind. Marvel Heroes is a free-to-play game on Steam. If you want to check it out, look for it. Just look for it on Steam. Maybe it's going to be an open beta pretty soon. But until next time, I will see you guys later.